There is a small moment that happens to many people now. You sit down somewhere, for example on a train, or maybe at your kitchen table and drinking a cup of coffee. Nothing is happening. No one needs you for a couple of minutes. There is no urgent task. And almost immediately your hand reaches for your phone, not because you had something important to check. It just happens. And this is strange, because silence used to be normal. Not always comfortable, but normal. People waited without their headphones, cooked without videos playing in the background. Now silence feels different. For many people, silence doesn't feel like rest. It feels more like pressure. Sometimes it even feels threatening. And the question is, why? Why has a quiet room started to feel like something we need to escape? Not silence as meditation or productivity hack, just silence as a basic human condition. A space where nothing is trying to capture you, just you, your thoughts, and the room around you. And maybe this is exactly why silence becomes so hard. Because it doesn't only remove the noise, it reveals what noise was covering. Start with your phone. The phone didn't just give us information. It changed our relationship with empty time. Before smartphones, the boredom had limits. If you were waiting for a bus, you waited. If you were standing in the queue, you stood. And maybe it felt awkward, but now every empty moment has an exit. The second reality becomes too slow, you can leave it. You can check messages, you can watch a clip, you can listen to the podcast. And probably at first it feels like freedom. No more waiting, no more awkwardness. But over time, something changes. The muscle of being alone with yourself gets weaker because you stop using it. You no longer practice waiting. And then when silence appears, it feels bigger than it is. A 5-minute wait feels heavy. And it's not because silence is dangerous. It's because your nervous system has adapted to interruption. It expects inputs and novelty. And then, when the novelty doesn't come, it starts looking for it. So this is the first reason why silence feels difficult now. We have trained ourselves to escape every small gap. But there is another reason. Silence often brings us face to face with ourselves. And that is not always pleasant. When there is a noise, you can keep your mind occupied with music, videos, or messages. But when everything gets quiet, thoughts come up. Not always deep thoughts, often annoying ones. The thing you forgot to do, or the conversation that felt strange, or the question you've been avoiding for a long time. Am I happy? Do I actually like the way I'm living? And that's what we call boredom. But in fact, it's not real feeling. Sometimes boredom is just the first layer. Under it, there is anxiety. Under anxiety, there is sadness. And under sadness, there is a need you have not listened for a long time. And that's why people say, I hate silence. But what they mean in reality, I hate what silence makes me feel. Because silence doesn't entertain you. It doesn't give you quick identity. What it does, it stops feeding you signals. And without signals, you have to feel your own life again. And sometimes it can be peaceful, but sometimes it also can be painful. Especially in the world where many people are tired, lonely, or emotionally underfed. This is a strange paradox of modern life. Even relaxation now often comes with narration. Someone explaining you how to rest, how to breathe, how to be present. And okay, there is nothing wrong with these things. Music can be nice, podcast can teach us, but when every moment is filled, silence starts to disappear from ordinary life. And when silence disappears, we lose more than quiet. We lose the space where our own thoughts can organize themselves. Think about how many insights arrive when nothing happens, like in the shower or in a walk. These moments look unproductive from outside, but inside something important is happening. Your mind is sorting, digesting, or connecting the dots. But if every gap is filled instantly, that process gets interrupted. You never let the thought become complete. You move from one thing to another, from one clip to the next one, until your own mind becomes overcrowded. And then you wonder why you're mentally tired. Because that exhaustion comes from the fact that your mind is always receiving but never digesting. Silence is where mental digestion happens. But silence also threatens modern economy. A person walking without headphones doesn't generate data. The one who is sitting without scrolling his phone is not watching ads. It is simple. Much of the digital world depends on turning empty moments into occupied. That is a business model. For example, the moments before you go to bed or after you're waking up. Those tiny gaps used to belong to you. Now they are some of the most contested spaces in your life. Because if every gap can be filled, then every gap can be solved. That is business opportunity, and your silence is unused inventory. And the result is that even doing nothing can start to feel like resistance. Of course, silence is not easy. For many people, silence is genuinely hard at first. If you're used to constant inputs, silence can feel strange. Your thoughts may feel loud, means that noise was covering something. It was protecting you from something you may need to face slowly, not all at once. So my point is not to force you into silence like a punishment. Don't sit in a dark room to prove yourself that you're disciplined. Maybe you can try to start introducing silence slowly into your life. For example, a meal without a video, or first 5 minutes after waking up without phone. Not because silence is magic, but because your mind needs places where it can hear itself again. Try to listen to your thoughts. Maybe at first it will be boring or messy. It's okay. You don't do it because it's comfortable. You do it because some parts of you can only speak when the world gets quiet enough. That's why silence matters.